Gopijana Ballabha Jai Giri Varadari Jai Giri Varadari Yasodanandana Jai Braja Jararanjana Jai Braja Jararanjana Jayo Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Kunja Bihari Jayo Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Vihari Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama Hare Hare Jai Gauranitai 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 Jai Gauranitai, 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 Gauranitai. Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Nitai go Haribo, 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 Gora, Haribo, Nitai Gora. Nitai Gora, Nitai Go Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora, Haribo. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shishi Gornitai ki jai. Jaum Vishnupāda Brahmams Pavirajikacharya Stodara Sadasisi Madhis Dvangre Sesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anandiko Divashna Vrinda ki jai. Namachar Shilaridas Thakuru ki jai. Premenseko Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Glory is the symbol of the devotees. Glory is the symbol of the devotees. Glory to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Hare Krishna. Good morning, everyone. And before I forget, Guru Shakti Prabhu asked me to remind all those who would like to participate in the monthly Sangitan Festival that we have a seminar this morning from 10 to 11 in the Bhakti Lounge. So anyone who's feeling inspired to go out and distribute one book or half book or say Hare Krishna to someone. So please come. And the seminar today will be facilitated by His Disgrace Vishwambar Das, by me. Anyway, so today we read from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, carry on, and this is Swarup Damodar carrying on, speaking to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have a beautiful children, Hare Krishna. Children are a gift of God, all of you. You've been born to give pleasure to Krishna. Especially when children, they become devotee of Krishna. That's the ultimate goal of life. So today we have on board, it's 160, 161, which one is? 159. 159 and doesn't have any purport. Oh, okay, so all the three that will be appearing on the board. Okay, so we offer our humble obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda. Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So we start with this is a Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, and it's chapter 14, text 159, and we go to 161. So what we'll do, which one should we chant it together? The 59 or the 61? The one with the purport. Okay, very good. So this one I'll chant it on my own. Vama eka gopigana dakshina eka gana nabna bhave karaya Krishna rasa hasvadana. Translation. This is just to reiterate. This is who is speaking here? We said it before. Swarup Damodar. Swarup Damodar was one of the very intimate associate of Sriman Mahaprabhu. The Lord, he very much liked to hear from him because he had a full knowledge, cognitive potency, full knowledge, full realized knowledge of this highest rasa between Radha and Krishna, which we'll talk about a little bit today. Of course, I'm not qualified, to enter into that topic, but from what I understand, we'll try to share something. The gopis can be divided into a left wing and a right wing. Both wings induce Krishna to taste transcendental mellows by various manifestations of ecstatic love. So without looking on your phone, who is the left wing? Sorry, don't be shy. You're allowed to make mistakes. Radharani, yes. And the right wing? Chandravali, yes. Chandravali is actually an expansion of Shrimati Radharani. It's all this going on to give a pleasure to Krishna, because that's the natural constitution of the ultimate truth, that the pleasure potency of Krishna exists to give him a pleasure, internal potency. It's the dharma of Krishna. We have our duty, our dharma. Krishna also he has his own ongoing activities, and there is nothing wrong for the Lord to mingle intimately with his own pleasure potency. We'll talk a little bit more afterwards about this. Text 160. I'll go straight to the, we'll chant the verse. Gopigana madhya shrestha Radha Thakurani Nirmala Ujjwala Rasa Prema Ratnakani. Of all the gopis, Shrimati Radharani is the chief. She is a jewel mine of ecstatic love and the source of all purified transcendental conjugal mellows. So Shrimati Radharani is the highest one of this phenomena, internal potency of the Lord. She's the identity principle. She's the catalyst person behind this pleasure. Without Radharani, Krishna would be miserable. It's like, a man without being happy is depressed man, miserable man. Actually, our happiness, it comes even before any types of relationship. Whether it's with a wife, whether it's with a husband, with a mother, the father, or with the children, your own happiness comes first. The happiness of the jiva, it's a very intimate feeling, and we hold it very, very dear. Hare Krishna Maharaj, nice to see you. You should be speaking, yeah, not me. So the happiness of the living entities, the pure happiness, it's none other than Ananda, we call it. Sachit Ananda. Chit is the knowledge, cognitive potency, just like Swarup Damodar here is displaying his full cognitive potency of this absolute truth, of this knowledge between the truth between Radha and Krishna. What is this phenomena? Why they get together? Why they have this rasa dance? Why they have this lila? We will explain a little bit more afterwards. So the happiness, behind the happiness of every living entities, there is Shrimati Radharani. She's in charge of the happiness, not only of Krishna, but also the happiness of all the living entities, because we are part and parcel of this Ladini Shakti principle of Shrimati Radharani. We are of a female potency. Never make a mistake just because you have a male body, that you identify yourself as a Purusha. There is only one Purusha, enjoyer, principle, Sat. Sat is synonym, Sat, Chit, Ananda. Ananda is, behind the Ananda is Radharani. Ananda is not different from Aladini Shakti. Chit is non-different from the Samvit Shakti. And Sat, what did I say? Ananda, Samvit. Sat is non-different from Sandini. Sat Chitta. Sat means eternal truth, eternal principle, that God is actually the supreme enjoyer. Yat Shama Sundara Chindya Guna Swarupam Govindam Mahati Purusham Tamaham Bhajami is the eternal male principle. That this is the truth of we are also part of Krishna, Sat, but in minute substance. So Krishna is the Sandini principle, that is the supreme Purusha, Vibhu, the greatest principle of enjoyment. And that's why we have that tendency to enjoy a little bit, because we also have some partiality, substance of this Sandini. It's all there in the Chaitanya Charitamrita 1.4.56, Madhya Lila, if you have a look there. So Krishna is Vibhu, we are Anu, small, very small. Just like the drop Prabhupada used, the example of the drop of the ocean, it has the same substance and quality like the ocean, the body of the ocean. So Krishna is like the ocean, Vibhu. Vibhu means the greatest. And we are Anu, the smallest. So, Srimati Radharani here, it's the highest principle of the pleasure potency of the Lord. When you talk about happiness, spiritual bliss, happiness, she is in charge, not Krishna. Of course, Krishna is the receiver of this happiness, of this feeling. He's God. And as we said before, Shyama Sundara is the original Purusha. Originally, there is one person, Shyama Sundara. Lord Brahma, he glorifies Lord Krishna to be originally the only one existing, but then he expounded himself, then out it goes, his happiness, his consciousness, the consciousness of Krishna, the pleasure potency, he expounded and became Ladini Shakti. And that happiness serves Krishna in his pastimes. That's why Krishna is always chasing Radharani. Radharani is always chasing Krishna. We can't. This is the reason why Lord Chaitanya was in absolute Mahabhava, even beyond Mahabhava. He was addicted to this feeling that every time we would see that Radha and Krishna would get together, Atmarama Jamunayo, he would feel fully satisfied. Lord Chaitanya would feel complete, because he's actually, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita explains that he's all these three principles together. Sandini, the Samvit, and Hladini Shakti. It's all of it together. So when he sees Radha and Krishna getting together, he would feel complete, because that's God. The happiness of Krishna belongs to Krishna, not anyone else. So he should not be criticized that he's having an affair with some strange ladies, women, some women that they've been created by another god, or women that they've got nothing. It's like us. It's not like a jiva. You grow up and then you get married to someone that you don't know. And then, you have to get to know that person. He may be good, may be bad. And if he's bad, you divorce. If he's good, you carry on your life together. But you could see uncharted water. So because we marry strangers by karma, we put together. We get what we deserve. And with desire as well, Krishna will facilitate. But it doesn't mean that that person belongs to us. But with Krishna is different. It's the previous verse I read, very interesting. There was a purport that it's not, Prabhupada describes it's not an erotic phenomena. Bear with me a few seconds. Yeah, that's the one, yeah. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Swarup Damodar Goswami are there talking about the relationship between Krishna and the gopis. Therefore, the subject matter, this is Prabhupada speaking, yeah, is neither mundane nor erotic. Being a sannyasi, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very strict in his dealings with women. So this is to be understood, the relationship of Krishna and his gopis, left wing, right wing. It's his business, it cannot be criticized. I remember once, I think I mentioned in the class, I had a friend. I come from a Catholic background, and one of my friends became a priest. I think you remember Govinda, I said something like this. I met my friend after many years, so I gave him a Krishna book. You know, after so many years we catched up, and what are you doing? What am I doing? What is your doctrine, philosophy? So he read a Krishna book. He said, yeah, interesting, but he found very hard to understand that this God, our God, has an affair or married 16,000 wives. So I had to explain to him, for an hour or two, that there is nothing wrong for God to have an affair with his own happiness. Still he couldn't get it. Even sometimes on book distribution, I meet very often very good Muslim people from Islamic religion, and they find very hard to understand that God has a relationship with Allah, a relationship with a woman, and therefore they reject that phenomena. He cannot have a form. He cannot. I said, you wouldn't allow Allah to be happy. You are happy with your family. Why the poor God cannot be happy? Let's, serve Allah in a such way that He's happy. He created all of us, and does He deserve to be happy or not? And does He deserve, to? So therefore, His relationship with the so-called women, it's none other than an affair, relationship with His own happiness. God, He doesn't need, to grab any woman of this world and try to have an affair. It's not, never make a mistake to think, that He has a tinge of a lusty desire. Just like when you feel happy, that's not lust. Happy, pure spiritual happiness. So it is not a lusty desire. So you can't criticize yourself. Nobody can criticize you. You can sit in a room on your own and enjoy your samadhi, meditation, with your own being bliss, happy. Nobody can criticize you for having an affair with your own happiness. Correct? Yes or no? You can't. You're not doing anything wrong. It's not an adultery. There is no lust in that feeling. But it becomes a lusty desire when, Prabhupada says in the Gita, sparsa germs, when we try to. But that is all from the cognitive potency, the sambit, which is the potency of knowledge, creation. All the living entities, they come in this world and they become enamored by the material energy, and therefore the superficial, it's what drives all of us around. We are attracted by bodies, but not by quality, internal qualities. We are attracted by the superficial. So that is illusion. This samvit, cognitive potency, it's none other than another potency of the Lord that creates with His knowledge, material and spiritual world. But we have to understand that we got nothing to do with this material manifestation as a spirit source. So we go on the last verse, which has got a little bit of purport. 161. Vyase, it's on the board, isn't it? madhyama teno svabhavete sama gada prema bhave teno nirantara vama. Does somebody would like to read the verse, Maharaj? Vyase madhyama deno svab. One lady would like to. Vayashe madhyamateno Vyase Vayase madhyama grown up Teno Srimati Radharani Svabhavete in character Sama equipoised Gada deep Prema Bhave in ecstatic love Teno she Nirantara constantly Vama of the group of the left wing gopis. Translation with purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Prabhupada. Radharani is grown up and her character is equipoised. She is always deeply absorbed in ecstatic love and always feeling in the mood of a left-wing gopi. Please repeat after me. Radharani is grown up and her character is equipoised. She is always deeply absorbed in ecstatic love and always feeling in the mood of left-wing gopi. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The left wing and right wing of the gopis has been explained by Rupa Goswami in Ujjwali Nilamani. The left wing is described in this way: Mana grahe sado dyukta takchaitilye chakopana adedya nayake praya krura vameti kirtyate. A gopi who is always eager to be jealously angered, who is very enthusiastic for that position, who immediately becomes angry when defeated, who is never under the control of a hero, and who always possesses him, is called Vama. Who is never under the control of a hero and who always opposes him is called Vama. As we said before, Srimati Radharani controls Krishna with this pleasure potency, and Krishna is her hero. It's called Vama, or left-wing gopi. Srila Rupa Goswami describes the right-wing gopis in this way: Asayamana nirbande nayake yuktavadini samabis tena bedyacha dakshina parikirtita. A gopi who cannot tolerate womanly anger, who speaks suitable words to the hero and who is satisfied by his sweet words, is called a dakshina, or a right-wing gopi. So Gyantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakya Chakshurumilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. You can see that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was questioning Swarup Damodar. Swarup Damodar is none other, talking about gopis. Who is Swarup Damodar? Not you, Maharaj. Oh, go ahead. Who is that? Lalita Saki. Is it correct, Maharaj? Maharaj said is correct. Well done. Lalita Saki. Lalita Saki is one of the principal gopis. One of the very first one expounded by Srimati Radharani. And Swarup Damodar, he has this ability, cognitive potency, some bit full revealed truth, to explain the pastimes, the intricacy of these pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Shri Radha Gokulananda ki jai. Sitaram Lakshmana ki jai. Gaurnitai ki jai. Who better than Swarup Damodar or Ramananda Roy can describe this truth? I mean, unlike me, I try to speak these things that they can come out defected, distorted, because I don't really understand this the intimate relationship between Radha and Krishna. But I do, after 45 years, I've realized one thing, that I accept it, that God, it's actually, He deserves to be happy. He, just like all of us, we are chasing happiness. There is nothing wrong. Apurusheya, he makes no mistakes in his thinking, in his speaking, and in his activities. There is nothing immoral about God, Krishna, to expound himself and give himself a pleasure. He expound into Srimati Radharani. Radharani, to give him more pleasure, she expound herself into a right wing. Just like in a crude way, I give analogies. You feeling, sometimes you like to be surprised by your own happiness. I remember once I watched Mr. Bean, he was bored. This is a crude example, that he wanted to surprise himself. It was his birthday. And then he wrote himself a card, he made himself a box of chocolate. And then, he put it outside the door. And then he went inside. And then he opened the door and he said, "Oh, beautiful." Mr. Bean. So it made me thinking, that here is a man, that he wants to be happy. And he's serving his happiness, he's serving himself by being, by being creative. So Radharani is like that. She's very creative. She expound into right-wing gopis to be submissive to Krishna. But as far as she's concerned, she's actually a rebel. She gives him hard time. She keeps him under control. And nobody can take that position from her. She's the master chief, just like Prabhupada says in one. She's the chief gopi behind this happiness of Krishna. Nobody can give Krishna more pleasure than Srimati Radharani. So And when we hear the pastimes of Radharani getting married to Abhimanyu, we think, and people, who read Krishna book, like my friend, he said, his consort gets married and then she never had any legitimate wedding with Krishna because of Parakya Bhav, but Krishna was having an affair with her, so he couldn't understand. So I had to explain to him that so-called husband, Abhimanyu, was none other than expansion of Krishna. So you see, Krishna, he expounded himself into Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu means two, both. Manu, man and God. Ordinary man and the Supreme Personality of Godhead at the same time. That's the meaning of Abhimanyu. It means both. So Radharani got married to the shadow of Krishna. Is anything wrong with that? Can we criticize that? No. Because she's not getting married to anyone else other than Krishna. But to increase the parakyaras, this forbidden relationship, which is the highest. She's a creative. Again, Krishna is a creative. And he organizes all this to increase his pleasure. And he should not be criticized for that. The 18,000, 16,000 queen, they're all expansion of Srimati Radharani. They're not ordinary girls. They're not there, as a strangers, foreigner. No, they're expansion of this lady that we see on the altar. So we have to understand this fact, this truth. And Lord Chaitanya, he will go in ecstasy to hear Swarup Damodar, because he was hearing the truth as it is. Lord Chaitanya was addicted to this feeling of parakyaras, forbidden relationship between Radha and Krishna. Forbidden, when I say forbidden, it appears to be, because they were not married. But then again, they had a wedding, with all the demigods, in Lord Brahma, and their own wedding. So we should be happy. This is the goal of life. When we see Ladini Shakti in reuniting with Sandini Shakti, the eternal male principle is an eternal truth. Sandini means it's Krishna. Is an eternal truth. It means the Supreme Personality of Godhead eternally. It doesn't change. Not like prime ministers or presidents, they have 4 years and then, like a puff of smoke, they come, they pour some clouds, they pour some rain, and then they go, and then they become history. The position of God doesn't change. So, Sriman Mahaprabhu, he was heavily addicted to this feeling, to know more and more, to see, because that's the highest bhava, the highest happiness of every living entities, every sadhu or every celibate person, sannyasi, or in whatever ashram you are, it's to see Radha and Krishna being together, Ladini Shakti united with Sandini. This is the purpose of book distribution, why I go out every day. People sometimes they ask me, what keeps you going out? It's also a little addiction, It's like when you do something every day, it becomes habit, and a habit becomes your prison. It can be a good habit or bad habit. Maharaj is a very strong preacher. He's addicted, to the Krishna Katha. I follow, LinkedIn, all your talks, very nice. Govinda is addicted to the Harinam. So we are addicted. It's good to make an addiction for your spiritual activity. And why do I go out? Because I like to see someone who belongs to the Ladini Shakti reunited with Krishna, Sandini. When you connect someone with Krishna, it's non different from the darshan of Lord Chaitanya when he sees Radha uniting with Krishna. Because all you are doing is to facilitate the union of Krishna happiness and his happiness. If your son, wants to make the father happy, he has to do something to announce his happiness, isn't it? Or the wife, or the husband, or it's all about pleasing each other. But what is the highest pleasure? What gives the most pleasure to Krishna? It's when he sees someone coming back to him. Not just Srimati Radharani, but all the jivas who belong to the Ladini Shakti, who belong to Srimati Radharani. That's why she recommended us. Every time you make a devotee, she says, okay, I've got someone else for you. And we are, recommended by Srimati Radharani. Another jiva coming to you to give you pleasure. This is the truth. This is the purpose of Krishna consciousness. But if we carry on, coming to the temple and not allow our brain to understand this, then we remain, in as it says here, in maybe Madhyamadikari or maximum. Or we can grow up spiritually, but if that understanding doesn't penetrate in our consciousness, that the highest pleasure that we can give to Krishna is when we see more and more jivas connected with him. Otherwise, we remain on a Anamoya platform, take prasad or a Sunday feast devotee. We can say that. So there's always a little bit more that we can learn every day. This is the purpose of Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada came to reunite all of us, to call all of us back, to join again Srimati Radharani, devotional service. That's what it means, becoming a devotee. You help Srimati Radharani to increase the service and pleasure to Krishna. So, and this is the eternal affair that Krishna has with Srimati Radharani and with all the living entities. There is nothing else beyond these phenomena. There is nothing else beyond devotional service or giving pleasure to Krishna. There is no, if there is anything else, please correct me. I'm here to be educated. I'm not identifying myself as a teacher just because I'm giving class. But it may be other phenomena, other mysterious activities, or if there is anything else higher than devotional service, please correct me. And anything else that makes Krishna sublime and happy. But from what we learn from all these books, the goal of life is to understand who we are and what is our constitutional position is to give a pleasure to Krishna, then we become happy, because the happiness of the soul is when we give happiness to others, when we induce another person to contribute in his own little way towards the happiness of Krishna. Krishna becomes very happy, even if one soul came back to him. He becomes very satisfied. That's why Lord Chaitanya, he was addicted to this. He would come out of his samadhi, Gambhira. It was an environment which was like a prison. They used to lock him in this bhajan kutir, but he would run out, just like a drugged. He runs away from the hospital to, again inject his drugs to become happy. But the addiction of Lord Chaitanya, it was something that he could not control. Because it is a great phenomena that we can only experience it only in due course of time, when we become completely purified, and then we understand what makes me happy. Our addiction is the ultimate addiction. It's service to Krishna, giving him pleasure. I remember once at the airport, Tamal Krishna Maharaj asked the question. I think Shamala Saki was there as well, and there was a group of us, and he said, what is the most pleasurable thing for Krishna to experience? So everyone was giving some theory, some philosophical thing. I can't remember now all the input, but and then at the end he said, it's for Radharani. The highest feeling for Krishna is for Radharani to give a pleasure to Krishna. I remember that, and that's what Srila Prabhupada has given us. This is the ultimate Mahabhava, even beyond Mahabhava. It's the ultimate phenomenon to be experienced, and it comes realized with the purification of our service. When we become addicted to our service, then we get a crumble of the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to witness the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Of course, I'm not qualified to talk about this highest, but this is my little understanding of this phenomena, left wing, right wing. It's just a creativity of the gopis to give more pleasure to Krishna. That's all it is. So I think I'll stop here. What time is class finishing on Saturday? Huh? So then we will have some discussion, and Maharaj could give some support, because it's very high topic. And unfortunately, this is my understanding. It may be superficial, but do you want to say something more, Maharaj? Any discussion, any questions? And Maharaj will answer. Do you have a question?
Hare Krishna, Vishwamitra. Thank you so much for the class. So you said that the highest pleasure to Krishna is to bring a soul back to reunite with Krishna. But then you also said the highest pleasure is for Krishna is to experience Radha. How do you reconcile this two?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just like a good question. When a wealthy man, he's wealthy, right? And then he has some investors. They invest more money in his, and then he becomes more wealthy. So we have Srimati Radharani, she's a wealth of devotion. When we invest ourselves in her, she becomes more. There is an additional contribution there. So our identity, it's when we reunite with the devotional service and Srimati Radharani, then gives more pleasure to Krishna. Does it make sense? Because he wants to see all the living entities. See, Krishna is fully satisfied with his pastimes, Atmarama Jamunayo. At the same time, that's why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so special. He's my favorite God, because Radha and Krishna in the spiritual world, they enjoy these pastimes that we are reading from the CC. At the same time, there's something else going on in his cognitive potency, in this material world, that there are part and parcel of Krishna, or his children, who are lost, suffering. So when we, sometimes, I go out on books, and I make a little prayer to Saint Anthony. You know Saint Anthony? Every saint that is a patron saint of something is the patron saint of the lost souls. Because many people in this world, they're lost. And that's what Lord Chaitanya did. He came out of the body of Radha and Krishna. He was not just concerned about, the rasa between Radha and Krishna, but he did something. He had an additional concern for all of us. Krishna, when he came, he didn't have a his sarvadharma paritya. Either you surrender, but he made a condition. Lord Chaitanya made no conditions, and he came out to came into this world to claim all of us, to preach to all of us, and that's why we have a Chaitanya Charitamrita, and we have all the acharyas subservient to Lord Chaitanya. And we picked up his mood, we do his work. We become empowered by him, because he wanted to see, that was his desire. Now that desire was from a compassion, you see. Love, it's nice, Radha and Krishna enjoying love and everything, but there is the crown jewel of love, it's compassion. And I like compassionate gods. That's why Lord Chaitanya is my hero. And you become a hero, if you do his work on his behalf. Because at the same time he had an addiction. He would come out, his preaching, and he would absorb. He was drawn, by this beautiful Ananda Vyasat, to witness the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, which he wants to invite all of us to experience the same thing. So that's my answer to that. Maharaj, you want to add on anything else on this? If there is any more something deep. Or you have a question? Okay, and then we have a Maharaj. I think it's on already, yeah.
Hare Krishna. In very place 1969, a Radhaswami lecture by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, he's given the Radhaswami class, and during that lecture, he states that the goal of this life is Srimati Radharani. And if we want to get Krishna, as you confirmed, we have to be recommended by Srimati Radharani. Without her, we cannot get Krishna at all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Prabhupada hit right on the nail. Maharaj, you have... I should be asking you a question.
No, thank you so much, Vishwambhara Prabhu. In the BBT art, they have this beautiful picture of Radha Krishna and the gopis, and then there's like a reflection, and then there's like Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement. You do know which picture I'm talking about?
Yes.
It's like it's a mirrored.
Yeah.
And Prabhupada made this statement that, preaching, as you mentioned, book distribution, this is like the work of the spiritual world. So I just had two questions. First is, you've been on book distribution so many years out there on the street. I don't know, do you have any practical realization of this, this kind of parallel that Prabhupada is drawing, that, the gopis or Radharani bringing everyone to Krishna is like the Sankirtan devotees bringing people to Krishna? I just wondered whether you had, because I often look at that picture and just reflect about the whole thing. And my second question is just that you mentioned this point about how when we preach, it's kind of like, in one sense, very emotional experience, because you're connecting someone back to Krishna, and it's very emotionally deep. So is there just anyone you remember in all of your years? Because sometimes you go out on book distribution, but there's always somehow some person you just remember them for, something stands out in your mind. So just those two.
Thank you, Maharaj. Yeah, the very first question, every day there is a new realization, little something, I walk home with something in my pocket. And it's a great phenomena. It's like digging up I feel like a daily miner, digging up every day. I find little something there. Some treasure. There's some treasure every day. I feel that the presence of Krishna, the presence of Srila Prabhupada, which I never felt before. It's a feeling. It's not that I see them, but it's something that reassures me that I'm doing the right thing, because I always want to do the right thing in life. As a child, I don't want to do the wrong thing. I always want to make a good choice. It's a difficult, to explain what I feel on the first question. What makes me, in a sense, what you said, makes me going out every day. It's, as I said before, it's the activity itself has become a little bit like an addiction. We are all addicted to something, each one of us. People addicted to coffee, or addicted to some drugs, or addicted to tell lies, or addicted to tell the truth, or addicted to sense gratification, or addicted to read books, and everyone has addictions. So, and I'm very happy that one of my addiction, it's this book distribution, because I feel that even though I'm a miserable in the morning, I don't have very good sadhana like yours, speaking honest. I chant 16 rounds, but not, in the association of devotees. Of course, my wife is there, and we have a few devotees in my house, but there are 16 offensive rounds. But it's like this service, is putting the piece together. Somehow or another, I feel reassured, that just carry on doing this, and something will happen. I feel that the reward is already there. I don't have to wait, for when I die. The reward is there, because Prabhupada is not part of the past. It's not something, a mythology, or part of the future. It's actually eternally existing in our present consciousness. And even Krishna, I try to focus on the present situation. Let me make my present auspicious, and that's sometimes regarding, when I meet people, and if there is anyone that I met one guy recently, very nice color gentleman, I forgot his name now. He's co-pilot with a celebrity, and he was for many years they tried to get him to get the books of Scientology, but when I presented him the books, Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada, in a nice way, and somehow or another he bought me in, he was attracted to me. And he said, they spent so many years to try to, he's a Christian originally, but so many years to get me into Scientology, but you got me into these books within 5 minutes. I said, that's not me, it's the person within me and the person within you, And so it's like 3 souls against one, And the little personality in your heart, which is God, you believe that is, there is God in the heart of everyone, is guiding the heart of every sincere person. I'm not pushing this to you. Nobody pushed this to me, but an honest person should follow his heart. If you follow your heart, you will get the truth, because in your heart there is God. You may ask opinion from a guru, even from sadhu, or from counselors, doctors, or whatever, scientists, or everyone has an opinion. Like Prabhupada says in the Bhagavatam, the tangible proof that we are all individual, spiritual souls is that everyone has different opinion. I like that, because he was actually defeating in that purport the Mayavadi, that we are all one. We cannot be one, even between Radha and Krishna. And they disagree, the right wing, left wing, even between gopis, even between the devotees. There's bound to be problem in every religions because of these phenomena. Everyone has a different opinion how to do things. But if you see beyond the opinion, that's the honest person, you have to understand. Beyond the opinion, there is someone who we have to ultimately give a pleasure. Sometimes it requires some humility, even if I'm right in arguing with another devotee. a good devotee, he should always think, what will please Krishna in this situation? Even if I am right. It's not about right or wrong. It's to surrender our opinion and try to make Krishna happy. That's because humility, it's a very attractive quality. Even without preaching, you can attract people, and a little bit of my humility comes out, in book distribution. I'm forced. Somehow or another, this beautiful, gentle genie of humility comes out. It's not in my control, and it serves me well. And I surprise myself. Oh, I did that. But then again, that's Krishna. Krishna uses each one. If we surrender to the idea to become an instrument, then Lord Krishna, he not just guides us, but he makes us. Every morning I chant the verse, Mukam karoti vachalam pangalam gayate girim yat kripa tamaham bande Shri Guru dinatarinam. By the mercy of the Guru, lame men can cross mountains. And I'm getting old, I do have a pain in the bodies. I do have issues. I'm diabetic. And, but somehow or another, I get carried by the Lord. And then, by the mercy of the Lord, a blind can see stars in the sky. And a dumb man like me can speak a few words on Bhagavad Gita. So I'm surprised by my own activity, because I realize every day it's not me doing it. It's Krishna. Because he says in the Gita, I am the ability in man. Whether you are a conditioned soul and you do bad things or horrible things, conditioned indirectly by Krishna or by Kali. By the age, or you want to be a devotee and you are directly an instrument of Krishna. So you have to choose which one of the two. So you discover not just the happiness of uniting someone with Krishna, you discover a lot about yourself when you go out on books. You discover your personality more and more deep, and you advance towards being a better person, And I feel good, because you judge yourself by the way you feel after you've done. Just like a murderer, he kills someone and then afterwards he feels like horrible, and then callous, and then it becomes a habit, addiction. But if you do something good, then you make that thing, like a habit. It becomes a habit. When I see a homeless person now, every time I always ask, "Are you hungry?" And my wife always tells me off every time we go shopping. "Are you hungry?" Oh, there you go again, the charitable man. He has to. If they say yes, then I buy a sandwich, offer to Krishna, and give it to the person. It's become habit. It's a good habit. And I tell my wife, I'm very proud of this habit. I'm not saying it because I'm proud of it, to show everyone that I give a little crumble in charity, but it feels good. When you do something like that, it feels good. When you do book distribution, no matter how bad I am, how fallen I am, it lifts me up, just like book distribution, prasad distribution, and Harinam. These are activities not to be underestimated. They will lift you up immediately. And you are addicted, on social media to say beautiful things. It's a habit, there's something new to learn every day. That's Krishna, he's using us to make the world a better place. Is that okay, Maharaj? Do you want to say something more? Any... Yes, comment, okay.
So Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur says that if the whole world throws flowers on me, but Krishna is not pleased, what is my credit? If the whole world spits on me, but Krishna is happy, that's my credit.
That's what absent-minded Baladev said. The quote, he gave it before, and that's my belief also. The goal of life, like Prabhupada said, is to see Krishna happy. God, he deserves to be happy. All of us, we are chasing happiness, and without being criticized, isn't it? Education, we pay money for our education, we put up, the good makeup on us, so we dress well to become happy, so people appreciate us. Everyone is chasing happiness somehow or another. And Krishna also deserves to be happy, but his happiness is something different from ours. His happiness is a little bit more, mysterious to understand. To say any lady, I don't want to be just looking this way. One time Jayadvaita Swami got criticized for taking questions just from the man. But the lady, I'm always interested. Any ladies? Thank you very much. You all agree what I said? Okay. Thank you very much, then. We'll stop the class. We go 5 minutes for breakfast, and all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Haribol.